Okay. As far as it goes for the work that you can do with that, Milcian is probably... You could have gotten out of Milcian. You could have. Your character knowledge would know if you talked to your grandmother and you were out there while she was about to sacrifice the baby, then you would know that the child would not have died. It was a sealing ritual that would have kept Dom Thule shackled. His soul would not be able to enter the wheel to reincarnate. It would not be able to go down into any kind of place to then be resurrected back or something like that. It would be locked so that he wouldn't be able to come back and work mischief. So that was the idea. And by preventing that, Dom Thule has now been able to escape and live.
But she did not get a chance to talk with her grandmother. She just sort of saw her with the dagger over the child, and then these people were trying to wrench it away, and then she ran off.
Okay.
That's sort of the idea.
If that's the case, then you wouldn't necessarily know what I said, but the timeline is still okay for you to have been able to do that, especially if you never actually got to talk to your grandmother and you kind of arrived while everything was happening.
Yes.
We will be going to Kelligoth first. I will tell you guys that. Kelligoth is the place where the 9 Guilds takes place. It is going to be a place where you're going... There's a lot of stuff going on right now in Kelligoth. The 200 one-shot happened there as well, and they had some stuff happen that has changed the face of Kelligoth in quite a few ways. The situation that may come up for everybody getting in is Kelligoth's going to be... Right now, it's okay between elves and humans and orcs and stuff. There's actually better relations between orcs and humans than there is between elves and humans because of a previous alliance in a war that happened. The civil war between the Goth and the Kells, before Kelligoth was Kelligoth. But with that being said, it's not something that should come up really crazily in the campaign. At least for this first few sessions that you're having stuff happen. I think that's enough for now, unless someone has a question about Kelligoth itself, because everybody's not going to be from Kelligoth. All this kind of stemmed from Alex's question about binding everybody together too. So the 2 half-elves could very easily have known each other.
Except for the fact that one of the half-elves doesn't want anyone to know that he is a half-elf.
That's fair. But the elf village that you may have grown up on, or in, or around, there's 2 major ones in the homebrew setting, if you want to go with the homebrew setting, that somehow you got your human father got transported there or something.
Okay.
There is the...
Oh, keep going.
There's the wild ones, is what they're called, and those are the ones near Kelligoth. And then there is the Anulami Empire, which are basically more like high elves than wild elves. And it would depend on where you would want to have that, what type of feeling you would want to have for your ancestry. Do you want to have your mother have been a high elf, or would you prefer her to have been a wild elf? And that would depend, that would kind of influence where you were from.
A high elf probably fits it better, which is weird because all of the characters I'll ever make, it's wood elves all day. But in this case, it definitely would probably be something more like a high elf or some kind of sedentary, non-violent society, and that's why he wants to leave. And I guess speaking of that, Adam, how relevant are character goals, backstories, et cetera, to the campaign at large? Will we be able to have goals and accomplish them, and will they be, if so, important to what's going on and stuff?
I will say that this will quickly escalate into a cosmic level struggle as far as the importance of what you're doing, because it's called the Broken Universe. So, I mean, you'll be running around lots of places, possibly through different planes, going and looking for things, finding
Then
what you need to find.
How will Cashew become the greatest line drummer in all of the Feywild?
These are the questions we ask ourselves.
Yeah, right?
Well, I mean, you could still do it. You could still do it.
I feel like the problem would be I would rapidly become the only line drummer in the Feywild.
Therefore, the best. You did it.
Possibly. That is possible, but not likely, depending on your guys' actions. Remember, your guys' actions in the playtest with the Broken Universe will affect the Homebrew's final setting that we have. This is... that was a question that kind of came up when we were talking. The game is not happening after the Sundering of the Universe, after the Broken Universe is broken. It is breaking now. It is starting to happen. And to streamline the explanation, you guys are basically working with the Procurer, along with his other machinations that he has going, to prevent the utter destruction of all things in what he will term in-game, eventually, as the Nothing.
The Nothing.
That's the synopsis.
Are we going to fight a big, scary wolf, too?
Who knows? I might have you journey through the Swamp of Sorrows or something like that.
Oh, no. Only one of us has a horse. Sucks to be you, Tommy.
Tommy's secret name is Atreyu. Oh no.
I imagine I'm gonna have to have a high strength score to function in second edition, because I don't imagine the effortless lace, weapon finesse, Dexy boys are gonna, at least at the outset, probably aren't gonna exist. So if I have to carry my horse, we'll make it happen.
Dexy lads.
Also, I imagine there'll be very easy ways to make your animal companions, based on how stupid skills seem to be, moving forward here. I imagine it won't be hard to handle animal through a lot of obstacles, considering high survival lets you survive in a vacuum. I'm imagining I'm probably going to be fine. Pathfinder 2nd edition, and I think I've I've complained to everybody in this chat about this, but in 1st edition, it really feels for the classes that get animal companions, you have a dinosaur, or you have a tiger, or a warcat, or you're just you're wrong and you're a hazard and a liability to the party because A, whatever you took's not going to keep up, and B, you have to babysit it. In 2nd edition, from what very little we've seen on animal companions from PaizoCon, it seems like they're going to be a lot more, much like the Ancestries. They're going to be really toolboxy, kind of like Eidolons. So I feel like I can take a horse and not a dinosaur or cat, or I hear some talk about the rock being all right, but regardless, I can take that and not...
Dwayne Johnson, or...
Yeah, you just go grab that guy, and he's your animal companion now, and he just looks intimidating.
To battle, Dwayne! Take me closer, Johnson. I want to hit them with my sword.
You get a rock and you literally name him Dwayne. That would be hilarious. Good.
Well, maybe I'll switch up and I won't have a horse. We'll see. I am going to try to find a way to finagle a Falcon Familiar in there somewhere. Adam, I'd meant to ask you, because Adopted will probably exist as a trait somewhere in 2nd edition, in 1st edition. I know gnomes now can take an ancestry feat to begin play with a familiar. How do you feel about a half-elf having something like that? Under, again, the assumption that eventually they probably will.
Well, we'll see what we get in the book.
I guess we haven't seen the book in the first place, so yeah.
So, because there may be a free-floating feat for...
To just grab a familiar.
That might be a thing now that we say. This is a free-floating feat.
Triple Fs.
You can get. But you can... I'm pretty sure that even if you took it as... If you just to want to flavor it as a pet, it's not a big deal. Lots of people have pets.
Yeah, but also, in the playtest, I really want to get my hands on just everything and run it as hard as I can forever because, A, it's a playtest. It's this brand new, real exciting thing that we're really excited about. And B, if something's good, it might not be good in a year because they might nerf it, and I want to get it, out of my system now. You guys know how salty I get about, Magical Lineage, so just getting that out of
Well,
our
we will
system
see what's in the
way.
playtest.
Yeah.
Once we know what's in the playtest, we would know what we needed to homebrew, which is why we can't say what Cashew's going to be. or what lizard folk will be mechanicked from. But
Yeah,
well, I mean, there might
see.
be something in the ancestries that fits that sort of flavor. Maybe there's some giant way back there or something.
I can see it.
Yeah. Or there might be a background called steward or something like that, where you get like a little buddy or shepherd or something.
Shepherd,
Shepherd,
falconer,
shepherd.
There's going to be a lot of them. But yeah, there's that. As far as trying to work in, it kind of leads into working in the ogre and the lizard folk. We'll probably try to do that if we can. I'm not sure. Where are you thinking about Cashew being from? Are you thinking about him being from the Homebrew universe, or are you thinking about him just being from insert Feywild origin here type thing?
Well, I mean, when Alex was talking about tying backstories together, we didn't discuss the possibility that maybe two of us just kind of come from the same place. Like, I don't think that's unforeseeable. That, like, I don't think the Procurer is going to one of every universe being like, I need that one and that one and that. Like, I don't think the Procurer goes to the store and buys eggs one at a time. Is what I'm saying.
Hey, man, you don't know.
I don't know that, but I have a feeling.
That's fair. This game's actually called The Procurer's Arc. We've got two half-elves. One of them's female, one of them's male. What's everybody else?
They're all going to be real inbred in about 20 years.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh gosh.
hi, buddy.
Now we all ogres now.
Everybody's ogres, whether they wanted to be or not.
And you gave the Grawl homestead a hard time.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been able to
were
make traps.
disgusting.
They're just dirty ogres.
Yeah, there's a bunch of the dudes from the hills have eyes, like getting around in the hills with engineering degrees.
Yeah,
Them's good
Have you
boys.
seen?
them's good boys.
Have you seen the show that the hills have eyes? They
Yes.
have traps.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
they didn't make
mess
automated
you
up.
fucking sawmill traps.
You also had to live
They
like this.
shoot up out of the ground and grind your
Scary.
Jimmy
That was
Jam.
ran.
You're gonna be scared when you see this lip. Right there.
That was ran by pressure.
You're in big trouble now.
It was ran by bullshit, is what it was run by.
You're
It's
ran by bullshit.
was ran by views.
Views. I'm a little upset we didn't get into that Grawl homestead, and there wasn't like one real floppy one in an armchair just singing the American national anthem.
It passed
Well,
me up
I
like
mean-
they got me in the Great War of Northern Aggression.
Well, I mean, you could have called Mama Grawl the big fat flabby one, but she could
She's
She
fly.
was
Kinda
definitely big, fat, and flabby.
He had her
No, not big fat flabby one, big limp floppy one.
I had
From
a
that
craft-
movie, there's definitely a dude who like has no bones.
I had quite an affinity with her. She was a beautiful artist.
Damn.
Yeah, she was.
I'm glad we lost that shit painting.
Yeah,
I'm glad you lost your kidney to that horrible smelting accident.
I still want to follow the bear. That would have been so satisfying.
Hmm.
So, backstories, huh?
Well,
Yes.
backstory, yeah. As far as, going back to Alex, like we should have in the first place, Alex is concerned about weaving the stories together. That's part of the reason that we're using the Procurer and the Inn of Planar Crossroads as far as, hey, you guys met this person. That's one way to weave you guys together. If you guys do want to have a story where, hey, I met this person before I met the Procurer, that is okay. That's fine. That's cool. Like the two half elves might not have met because they're on different continents, but then again, Octarian may have took a boat across the sea to try and find his father's people, because
Yeah.
Zatench does have a rather large portion of it that is cold. And it would have been easier to go to Zatench than to go and down to Molkobas, which might be might also be a place where his people were from, than to go from Nam Silfed, the other continent, down to where it is. I have no visual aids for you guys. You guys are like,
Adam, do you have access to our incarnate?
Like, you're just throwing out words like I'm supposed to know what they mean.
Basically, continent A, continent B. He went from continent A to continent B, and perhaps might go to continent C if he tries to find that. So all that. But
we've been playing Dungeons and Dragons together for almost 4 years now, Adam. And sometimes you'll just start talking. I'm like, yeah, It's like listening to you and Greg talk about, I don't know,
stuff.
bones.
Medical stuff, yeah. But yeah,
it's kind of interesting that Octarion is looking for humans while Jaluri would be looking for the elves in the process.
Yeah. Octarion probably at some point wants to go back to like the land of his fathers. I'm also operating under the notion that they're very like xenophobic and racist, and if he were to go back, he'd be at like best a second-class citizen, at worst a slave. So it's a matter of becoming as strong as he can, because if he becomes the best, then nobody can tell him otherwise. So there's, as far as like how that relates to the other 5 people, I'm probably gravitating to the warriors. I'm also shoehorning Tengrism into this game, so we don't have any druids, but the Feywild is probably close. Man, that said, for a culture that worships the eternal blue sky, Adam, if I go to the plane of air, it's probably like a huge, real big shock, because that is by definition eternal blue sky.
Everywhere is sky.
I don't know which way is up.
You just start screaming and never stop.
Just fall forever in a giant circle.
Yep.
It's a good death.
It's a long, protracted, tiring,
boring death.
Yeah, you starve to death and fall in a direction.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, you would probably.
I was gonna say I can cast
die
it
from dehydration
ranger,
first, so.
But I can't because rangers don't have spells now, which is fine. I'm okay with this.
Fine. It would only take 4 days instead of 2 weeks.
It would only take one night.
All right. It depends if you could sleep while you were falling, which you probably eventually could.
Oh, I definitely.
But
just pass out free fall.
If I had something to plug my ears with, I could definitely fall asleep while falling.
You're half deaf anyway. You could fall.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. These earbuds are buried pretty far in there for a reason.
But for weaving them together, like the dwarf could be from either Mountain Hall if he wants to stay within the grouping of, hey, we're from the homebrew setting, or he could be from Pathfinder, or it could be from even the Forgotten Realms if you preferred that. Heck, he could be from 40K.
Don't do that. Please don't mix that.
We're all suddenly rolling up orc plays.
What?
Well,
Actually, no dwarves in 40K.
Codbringer?
I know. I was about to correct myself.
We could be
which
from
was
Warhammer?
probably my least favorite change.
Well,
You can be from
don't mind my
Warhammer, yeah.
skull's full of blood.
now they're
You could technically be from Warhammer universe if you want to.
there were actually
Yeah.
dwarves, but they
Retcon them?
yeah.
The Dawi. The
It was like
Dawi.
in the very early editions, there were dwarves.
Boom. Boom. I'm so excited
Well,
now.
maybe that's where the dwarves went.
Yeah.
Maybe you were a dwarf from the 40K universe.
Now,
But-
Adam, if we were to do that, and I know the answer to this, but it begs the question: if we were to do this, does that mean the level of technology in the campaign changes? I know. I
Like you
think we
said.
talked about this in the Facebook, but like, if we're all Space Marines, and you said 1920 Chicago at some point, are we rolling into town with laser rifles?
If anybody shows up to this game with a bolter or a Chicago typewriter, I will fly to your house and slap your fucking cheekbones off.
Man, you're gonna get lost at the airport again. You can't do that. It's real bad for you.
Yeah,
I didn't get
we're not
lost at the
afraid of
airport.
you.
Thank you. They delayed our flight 7 times and then canceled it.
They delayed it 7 times.
Fuck you, Ontario. You suck.
Keep forgetting Canada's not
Like
just one
somewhere-
ubiquitous place.
Center of the universe, my asshole.
I don't think either of those places are the center of the universe.
I mean,
fine.
Ontario or Greg's anus.
The only good thing about Ontario was Greg and his girlfriend.
Hey, Donald is from Ontario. Hey now, hey, wait a minute.
I stand by my statement.
Right, fair enough.
All right. Stay strong.
I'm just kidding. I love you, Donald.
Hi, Donald. You're probably watching. Love you,
Yeah, he
buddy.
probably watches.
I have very small requirements for my backstory. Just
Okay.
saying. Like,
What are they?
small. I'm not going to tell you them.
Is it Tangrism?
Yeah, he's not going to tell you.
I mean, I'm definitely saying a lot of things about Octarian that are very meta knowledge at this point. Like, the players, again, are going to have no idea that I'm a half-elf unless they're like Tommy Gaddy and they throw sense motive checks at every goddamn thing that moves because they're smart. But, like, we can know that at the outset and not metagame around it.
Cashew's too honest to lie. I'm definitely not going to be playing a bard that lies to people.
He's going to beat a drum with... I'm telling you, dude, you get 2 mallets and they function as clubs and you're just like...
Yeah, no, he's gonna be a war drummer scald.
It's gonna be amazing. It'll be the best ever.
I don't know how that's gonna work in second edition, but like I said, we'll see. We'll see when the actual book becomes a thing.
Yeah. Mine's shipping.
So
But it doesn't exist.
if you guys want to, you also can say that you've already been contacted by the procurer and have worked with him a little bit before, so that you can have a little bit more knowledge about how things work within the inn. If that's something you're wanting,
that would probably
or perhaps
be the
wanting
easiest for me to have to, like, people from different settings have a little time together to integrate at least parts of their story.
We have all killed rats in someone's cellar and bonded over the experience.
Are we starting at level 1?
We were all level 1 together.
Yes, we are starting at level 1.
Okay.
So, because the whole point of a new system is to try it out. So
That's
let's
fair.
try it out. I have not fully decided yet if we're going to do milestone leveling or if we're going to do experience points leveling.
I feel like we need to do experience points based on, like, and this is not me GMing over your head, but, like, because experience points are changing so much in second edition. You know what I mean? Because it's that flat 0 to 1,000 and then it resets to 0 and then it goes to 1,000 again, as opposed to just giant numbers forever.
Right, and that's one of the reasons I've leaned towards possibly doing the experience points thing.
Also, since it's a homebrew, you're the boss, so you don't have to... I mean, you can scale everything at a whim's notice without,
Yeah, we don't have to worry about skipping half of your homebrew to go do a thing, and then we're like 4 levels behind.
I don't have a hardcover book in the other room that tells me whether or not you're following along.
Yeah. Only I know the truth. Blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, so with the homebrew setting being the thing, we will probably do experience points because they are changing, and I want to see how well that works when you're just GMing and homebrewing and running in your own setting. Because that needs to be tested, Paizo. Got to test the homebrew stuff, too.
You tell him, Adam.
Yeah, Paizo, yeah. I can tell you how to do your job. I'm sure Paizo would appreciate that, yeah.
I mean, that's literally what the playtest is, right?
Pretty much. For Lucia's character, you probably don't know anything about the homebrew, so is there any questions that you want to have answered about it to kind of figure out where you're from, or do you have an idea of what setting you'd like your character to come from, even if it's your own homebrew setting?
The setting I don't think makes too much of a difference for my particular character unless there is a good, like, established type of barbarian tribe in a setting that I could use. Because usually settings are not great about establishing exactly what barbarian tribes are and or do. My thought is that she, if nothing else, she could at least be from, like, ancient Germany, like Visigoth tribe, if no other setting would work. But I think that she would work in any barbarian setting from Temperate Mountains, probably.
Okay. Kelagoth itself was pretty much goth in its... The Goths were modeled after the Goths, and the Kellys were more English and had a lot of elven influences because they lived so close to the wilds there. So being from Kelagoth is a possibility. There's also the White North, if you wanted something a bit more northern. There's... What else was there? That's just in the homebrew setting. So yeah, any of those could work.
Okay, Kelagoth definitely sounds like a good option then.
Okay. If with that being the case, then it's very possible that you might have been from the same area as, like, your character might have come to the town that, oh, what's the name? Say it came to the same town as Jaluri. I'm not sure about that name. Jaluri. Okay. Might have come to the same town that Jaluri was from, and might have been helping her in that sense, because maybe you guys were working together to figure that out, and she was going to different places that you hadn't been before, and that was kind of what you were looking for. So there's a possibility there. You guys might know each other. So yeah, that's where you might be from if you were in the homebrew. Of course, you always have the agency. It's your character, it's backstory. So there is that option. Any more questions about the setting or things like that?
I assume I'm behind on a lot, and so I think I have a lot of questions that I don't know I have yet.
Okay, that is fine and understandable. And you can voice those anytime you need to, because the viewers might not know what you also don't know, which is very possible. So we'll see.
Oh, and she could probably drop them in the Discord or whatever as well.
This might be a good time to note that, like, all of my knowledge of your setting, Adam, is the 3 one-shots I've played in. 3? Yeah, the 3 one-shots I've played in.
Bunch of second-hand stories from
you guys.
like,
yeah. That it's kind of like when Adam and Greg are talking about medical supplements. That was a game you did.
I mean,
Ark got eaten. Okay, yeah, that happened.
We know as well. Like,
Sounds like somebody has a new video series to put out.
It's mostly Milson.
Well, I don't like to do lore dumps. I don't find that engaging for the players.
Yeah.
Like you guys said, when I say names, they mean something to me, but they don't mean anything to you.
That's not always the case. Like I was telling you, I really wish Necros had ranks in knowledge history running around Rise of the Rune Lords, because why the hell is that damn made of skulls?
Because it's cool. And it's
yeah, it is cool. That's correct.
the only reason.
Why though?
There was
So
no.
it's not that I'm not
skull
interested.
channel.
It's just like don't want to have like the
was,
lore dump
it
is
was-
bad. But
It was built
like,
by people from
information is good.
Warhammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know the really interesting thing about that damn Tommy is that those skulls used to be faces.
The skull is the most structurally sound shape. That's why we build all our bridges out of skulls.
It's an easy to come by material.
That's fair.
Yes. They're always... Those lovely, lovely humans who breed so quickly always make plenty more skulls.
I would go with the goblinoids before the humans. They definitely breed faster than us.
Oh.
Fair.
And the goblin heads are so big.
Yeah.
In
Really
Pathfinder...
big rather on tiny bodies.
Just a bridge made out of little footballs.
Yeah, they look like they're like little green Hey Arnold. Excuse me while I date myself.
Hey Arnold. But they would say like, "Oh Arnold."
Arnold!
No, football head.
Oh man, can you imagine Helga's monologues in a goblin voice?
I don't want to hear about Helga's quivering womanhood, okay? Just take that to somewhere else.
That's like Tika talking about Gibble. Okay, it's just you don't want to hear about
no,
it.
stop it!
So there.
So there.
That is something for you guys to feel.
So here's a fun question that dawned on me. Will we have hero points, Adam, in this, do you think? Because they've talked about how hero points will be in the playtest. We don't know what they do yet, but like they're there.
Well, it depends on whether or not in second edition you can still use them as a get out of death free card.
I'm pretty sure you can.
I mean, I don't think there's a good idea to add homebrew rules to the
Yeah,
playtest.
I feel like our first rule right now, and I mean Adam can veto this if he wants, but no get out of death free cards.
Yeah. I will.
You're just
if
mad
they're
I
in-
haven't died more.
Oh, we've got a cleric and a sorcerer who's casting from the divine spell list. I'm okay with this. I like my chances.
And a bard.
And a bard, yeah.
This is
Yeah.
actually going to be a.
I'm a
pretty-
10th level
this is
spellcaster now, apparently.
You did it! You're just like the rest of us. But I don't have spells anymore, so I'm sad.
Hey, but at least this isn't a low magic setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the low magic settings,
You
I
never
play the
know
seminars.
what-
In the high magic settings, I play the no casters. I did it.
You never know what type of universe will be made once all is said and done. That will depend on y'all's actions. Legitimately, this campaign will affect the way the homebrew universe is recreated.
Oh, Malcolm, we should trap a dude in the moon and take magic away from everyone again.
It'll be all 40k.
Just everybody
You
D40K
joke.
and force his channel over to Warhammer from Pathfinder.
Yeah, Malcolm did a whole bunch of hand gestures and talking, and then realized he was muted and picked his headset and went, "Yes!"
Just shouting yes at my wall.
All right.
Parents are probably, what the fuck's this problem?
They're
Just
always that way.
all
They're
these
used to it.
Adventurers! As we lower him into a hole in the moon.
That's a possibility.
I've never
know
heard
what that
your
noise
rooster make
was.
that noise before, Adam.
That's because it was the fan.
Yeah, it started to sound like Chewbacca a little
It
bit.
was real?
Sorry, what'd you say, Lucia?
I said, wait, that rooster was real?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I have chickens.
He does. That's the one that lives on the farm. The one that's offered to have us all come down and work on his farm in the summer. Yeah, Adam.
Yes, let's do it. There's no animals on my farm. It's just brush and memories.
a lot of borderline fucking haunted abandoned buildings.
We have some crazy gypsy rolls out there, man. Don't go out at this hour without salt.
Well, yeah, and there's that one patch of trees that your family's tried to kill like 4 times that keeps growing back over top of someone's
Way
grave.
back when, we don't try to kill it anymore. That's bad juju. That's literally right on the
You know,
fairy
that-
circle.
The native spirits are restless there.
And one angry old gypsy man.
Hey, he's gonna do well there, I think. We still got his chair set up out there. I stand it back up every time because the bears always go and fuck with it.
It's not. There's no problems out there really. It's just the bears messing with y'all. They're all
There's
like,
a lot of bears. Like
The
more
bears
than
are
the average
trolling.
amount of bears in an
"Watch
area.
this."
Canada must be a
Okay, watch
scary
this,
place.
watch
You got
this.
bears all over the place.
I mean, as terrified as I am of bears, they're not that hard to deal with.
No, I mean they're pretty chill. They just keep coming in and eating all our bird seed, which you
As long
wouldn't
as
think
they're
a bear would
bears.
eat.
Don't go fucking with grizzly
Yeah.
bears.
There's no
They
black
would kill you.
bears, just grizzlies around here. Black bears around Edmonton. Come on.
No, we do. We get.
I guess a little bit. But
I mean,
we
I
tend-
did drive past a bunch of coyotes while downtown yesterday. So
I saw a coyote like in the back alley the other day.
I hear coyotes outside my house every night.
Just dicking around.
All right.
Freaking coyotes.
Yeah, but you kind of like, you live out in the boonies. We live in the middle of a city.
That's where there was a moose, like off of Terwilliger, and like we drove by it to Stevens once, and then we drove back and it was super dead.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Like a whole moose, like bigger than a van.
Some soccer mom in an SUV had just nailed it. Just.
Okay. Good to know.
Good to know about dead moose. And King can handle bears apparently.
Dead moose. But hero points. I think I did this. Hero points. If it's in the book, it'll be allowed until
we abuse it.
I don't have them. Yeah, yeah. It'll be allowed until you abuse it.
Fair enough.
I'll probably allow hero points and award them differently than I do now. Maybe.
You do like a story-based thing rather than they refresh at level.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how often you guys are having to use them too. Because if you're having to use them up, it's not necessarily a resource I'm particularly worried about.
That's fair.
But if it's like you store them in, if you have 5 to 6 people playing a game, even if you have 4 people playing a game and they all have a hero point and only one person's up front fighting, that means he can stay there up front fighting, especially if it's against one big monster.
Yeah.
Or a lot.
You could just let hero points not be communal.
That is a possibility.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All that said,
you can spend a hero point to not bleed out, but you can't just spend it to not die.
Yeah.
So it's not as potent.
Mm.
I'm not as worried as much.
If you drop one of us, just keep stabbing us.
Yeah.
Hey,
don't
you guys have
punches.
Yeah, I'm not going to pull punches. This is homebrew now. You guys can die, and we can bring in some more people from the Planar Crossroads. 40K.
Like I told you last night, Octarian has so many twin brothers that I didn't know about.
Octarian has so many twin brothers named Akbarian, Akplarian, Doctarian, Dr. Octavius. We don't talk about
Pirate of Sartos, baby.
Octogenarian. He's actually your uncle.
Place removed.
Place removed.
On the mother's side. But if you do start doing that, we might have to have some fun story stuff happen about your backstory. But
yeah.
I think we've got pretty much what we need to understand about that. Let me see. I think everybody's kind of got an idea of what they're wanting to play. We don't have a name for Lucia's character yet, so we'll have to wait on that. And we're not sure what Mal is going to be playing for sure, so we'll see. But otherwise, that's that. For those that are going to be, you're all going to be coming in. You're going to be first level, and basically, we're going to have it where you guys are on your mission. We're going to have you guys come in on your mission and where you're headed. You will be in Kelagoth. You will be, and I'll get a map in here for everybody of Kelagoth. I don't have it's not pretty, but I'll get it in there. Maybe I'll try and do something with it.
Again, Adam, do you want access to Incarnate Pro? Because I don't think Joe's going to mind. And if he does, I'll tell him not to mind. Hi, Joe. If you're watching, don't mind, please. See, there we go. We're fine. But for real, do you want it? He's not going to care.
I don't know. It's possible.
Okay.
GIMP is really good, and like Photoshopping GIMP are really good about making maps, but it takes a lot longer because you have so many options to sort
You got to dig out all the like resources and stuff.
So
That's
it
fair.
might just be better to have access to that, but that's up to you. And
No, I'll
in
grab
that
it right
case,
now and
I
think
will
about it.
have a better map of Kelagoth for you guys. I will make a point to do that because Kelagoth does deserve another map if it's going to be used as the main point for you guys, at least at this point. And it's not spoilers for me to tell you what your first mission is going to be. The procurer has asked you, your little group, he has given you each a little bead a little glass bead. Tommy calls them. There's something similar to what Tommy calls dragon tears or whatever. Those little Minkala beads. And each of you have one. So when you do end up making your character sheet, you may put that on there. And he just says to keep it with you and keep it on you. So your mission will be to go and you need to find. There's a special container that's rumored to be somewhere in Kelagoth that has the ability to hold things that are not usually containable by normal means. And it was rumored that it was in Kelagoth, and you guys will get to decide, once we get the map, you guys will get to decide where you want to try to go. And we'll do a bit of a flashback in time, or we can do it now in just a minute if you guys want to. And role play out meeting with the procurator and you guys figuring out what you want to do with that. So it's up to you. Would you guys like to play that now, RP that out now, or would you like to have a better grasp on what your character can do and figure out first?
I mean, I think I have a pretty good idea of what Octarian is in my head.
It really becomes more of like, does everyone have their character together? Lucia doesn't have a name.
Call out.
Yeah, Lucia, why don't you have a name yet for your character?
Malcolm doesn't have a fucking name.
It says the person who doesn't know what race he is.
My name is Bush Jane the Gita.
Definitely not a combination of the beer you're drinking, the chain on your table, and a half-eaten taquito?
Actually, the Bhagavad Gita, but close.
I thought you were making a Vegeta reference. Like, it's like Dragon Ball.
That's my guy's name, is Vegeta.
Oh, come on, he said we could be from any universe. We can all be stands. Come on, it'll be great. We won't die.
Vegeta. The Pickle Man.
Please, God, let me have fucking a JoJo character.
He's my original Sonic character.
Wait, is that the secret? Is that the real secret behind Cashew's origin? He's actually from the JoJo universe?
Yeah, I understand you.
Wait, what the hell is the JoJo universe?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is an anime.
A really bizarre.
A really bizarre, over-the-top anime, and a lot of the later seasons focus around characters with abilities called stands, which are basically psychic projections. The point being... Cashew Stand is definitely Mama Nut.
You got to get back on that Tumblr page. You got to find all those. What was it? Shower thoughts? Was it that you said was everything the Cashew would have got from Mama Nut?
Yeah, just Mama things from the Shower Thoughts Tumblr.
Yeah.
Mama Nut took Cashew. Air conditioning is just domesticated wind.
There you go. That is a possibility.
What? That air conditioning is domesticated wind? That's possible.
Possibility. Well, I mean, to domesticate something, it has to be sentient in the first place, so that's not accurate. But that's beside the point. That's killing the mood, Adam.
Yeah, Adam. Come on.
Dagnabbit, boy. Go with the flow. So that is kind of the setup that you guys are going to be coming into. You can give me any kind of questions or something like that you have otherwise. And you do or do not want to RP out the meeting until or wait till next time. It's up to you.
I can do either.
Fun, but I don't think anyone really has their character together. So it would either you would pick something now and then you kind of feel like you have to stick with it, or you would just pick something now and then you would just change it to something completely different the other time because you didn't want to stick with it.
Yeah,
that's kind of my sentiments too.
I mean, Mal doesn't even know what it is.
Shut up.
So,
I'm a beer man.
Beer man.
I'm a beer man.
When you start going back to school again? When does your schedule start to get real janky?
Yeah, so what actually is going on here is I've got one super important course, and it starts when we usually start. So it goes from like 6 to 9 here. Well, I guess no, a little bit after. So, I probably wouldn't be able to do Tuesdays.
The point being, you'd have to leave the house whenever to get to school on time.
Probably an hour after we start, I would need to leave the house.
Yeah, so you'd only be able to attend like the first third of any session.
Yeah, so Tuesday probably wouldn't be conducive, and I'd be fine. I would miss you guys, but I could live. I would not live well.
Somehow you'll make it.
It's not like we'd be fucking kicking you out of the chats or anything. Like, you'd still be around to like.
Ultimately, I could probably be back come the winter semester. So in January, I could be back at it if you guys were willing to have me. But like, don't lament my departure too much. Be that the case.
Well, I mean, Henrietta will truly lament your departure.
She's an evil.
She'll just assert her authority.
Yeah, she'll just take control of his body.
Just come back and I need my siege mage. That's all I'm asking.
Sinks her little.
Henrietta is the head clunker in charge.
A ghost just moved my camera.
I don't know. Your camera's been having like a whole paranormal activity thing the last little bit here.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I looked down. You're stuff fucking with the cord. I looked down at your camera like 20 minutes ago, and you were just like standing partway off screen, and then your camera glitched. You were sitting like this, and I swear to God, I almost screamed.
I was battling. Yeah, whatever.